Hey there, everyone. We're back. Sorry, my grandma came in, so my grandma came to the door, so I had to let her in. We're almost done with the cooking process. Right now, we're just waiting for our rice to come out in 30 seconds. Then we're gonna put it into our mixture here. Now, normally, normally what you do is Normally what you do is you'll have a day-old rice or a leftover rice to make fried rice. But rather than but I don't have day-old rice, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna put in rice that I freshly made. There we go. Our rice is now done. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna get a big serving spoon. I'm just start putting clumps of it into my Omurice mixture, and then I'm going to break up those clumps. Go. Break up those clumps of rice. Let that go for a couple of seconds. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 to 4 tablespoons of tomato sauce and then mix well. Here's my tablespoon again. We'll add just a couple tablespoons of tomato sauce. 3 to 4 tablespoons. If you put anything in that range, you're good. And I'll mix this very well. Make sure you get the tomato sauce everywhere. I might even want to put a little more in because I have such a large quantity of rice here. Of course, you always want to remember that you still want to have some tomato sauce left over for serving. There you go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this off and divide my fried rice into 2 portions. So I'll just make it like a nice little cut down the middle. Put some of my fried rice to one side and some of my fried rice to the other side. And this is because this dish actually makes 2 omurices. So what I'll do is I'll keep my fried rice in the pan for now. I'll bring this pan over here. My fried rice pan all the way in the back. My wok is a double handle, which is really nice. Here's my rice saucepan away. Bring my fried rice back. Put my 2 cutting boards away. We can move on to the next step. Put my camera over there for a second. On the fried rice, so you can get a look at the finished product. Get out my cooking chopsticks so that we can move on to the next step. Now, I said this was omurice. and it is omurice. But what's omurice without omelet, without eggs? And that's going to be our next step. We're going to be making the actual eggs for this. So we're going to need 4 large eggs, but at first we're only going to use 2. We're going to make 2 batches. Alrighty. So we got our eggs. We're going to be 2 large eggs, both eggs and whites, so you don't need to separate them. There we go. I got the shell in there. Just take the shell out. There we go. Then we'll throw in a couple tablespoons of milk, or 1 tablespoon of milk and a pinch of salt. Wash out my tablespoon. Still filming. Great, it's still filming. Tablespoon of milk. A pinch of sea, in this case we can use our sea salts. You only want to do a little bit of just a quick pinch, not too much. And then we'll beat our eggs with milk and salt. Did I miss something? Sorry, I just want to ensure that I didn't miss anything. No good, we didn't miss anything. And we're just going to whisk these all together. We're going to be doing this twice, which is why I said we need 4 eggs. Combined. Now what I'm going to do is going to get a butter knife and cut out a tablespoon of butter. I'll take this tablespoon of butter, take that tablespoon of butter, spread it around, and heat it over medium heat. Let's double checking directions. Swirl it around. And when it's all melted, we're going to pour in our egg mixture. Use these chopsticks. There you go. We'll pour in our egg mixture. Mixture's set but still runny. Let's It's not set. We're waiting for it to get set. Starting to get very set though. Over here. Good. I think we're in the stage where we're starting to get set, but not still running. We're gonna add in half of our ketchup rice. So I'll add in half of our fried rice. Sorry, I'm doing this from kind of a weird camera angle. Just get one more spoonful in, and that's a hearty serving of omurice. Take my chopsticks. I can't actually wrap this, unfortunately, because I'm not too good at wrapping, and I have a lot of fried rice on this. But this is basically your omurice dish right now, so I'll turn off the heat for a second. I think I let too much butter get on one side. So what I'll do is I'll just bunch the egg in like that. Unfortunately, I didn't get the presentation too well. What I will do... So, I made a lot of rice. I think you're supposed to have less rice in the when people would do this in like restaurants or for smaller they would generally do this. They'd make smaller portions, but I have a big family, so I was just thinking big portions. So I'll just wrap it in. Get a plate and then slide it off. And that'll be our first serving of omurice done. Doesn't look too great. It's fine. I'll have to get the chopsticks and scrape off. It's okay. It happens. On the bright side, it smells good. So, with that going for it. So rinse this pan out. All that I'm doing right now is just cleaning the pan out so that we can do it again for our next portion of fried rice. Just give me a spare second. Still filming, which is good. So my first plate of omurice down on the table. Then I'll make my second portion. I'm thinking that if I had a smaller piece of fried rice, I would have a lot less, or not a smaller piece, well, a smaller portion of fried rice, I'd say. I'd have an easier time, making the shape, but I have a big portion of fried rice. So I have, a hard time, but it's okay. I'm just gonna get out my directions again. for a second. Then we're gonna do it all over again. So what we'll do is we'll get our 2 large eggs. Put a little piece of shell out. Egg on the floor. That's fine. Here with my chopsticks. Kind of a massive mess, but that's fine. It still it looks like it looks good, so we'll take it. There's your salt. Then whisk. Or rather, beat it. Whisk. This is with chopsticks, I'm not really used to saying the word whisk. I guess that's how it is. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I'll take some butter. Another tablespoon of butter. Heat our pan again over medium heat. Experiment by putting it a little lower this time. Spread our butter around. I'm going to spread it more evenly this time. So I didn't get enough of an even spread as I would have liked last time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread it, see if I can get it as an even spread as I can. I feel like the butter kind of pooled in one area, and it prevented me from folding as easily as I would have liked and from cooking the egg evenly on all sides. So I had some parts that are firmly set, but I had other parts that were more runny. I personally like it that way, that I get set and runny at the same time. I think it's going to taste great, but the problem is that presentation-wise it doesn't look good. It doesn't look as good, but hey, if it's good, I'll take it. Alright, our butter's fully melted, but that's just a little hotter. Then pour in our egg mixture. Then we'll cook this until the bottom is set, but the egg on top is still runny. The right side is starting to get a lot more even, which I'm really liking. We're still filming, which is good. I just like to get a little more set. We have to do it now while the top is still running. Start scooping in our fried rice. Yeah, that's a massive amount of fried rice. More than they had in the original recipe. That's fine though. Because it might not look perfect doesn't mean it might not taste good. Though to be fair, There are going to be some things that don't look good or taste good. Scrape the last that fried rice on. And then we will take out a plate. Turn our heat off. And somehow attempt to get it on the plate. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. What I think I'm going to do is get a big spoon. And just start scooping it on. Maybe even like a little one of these paddles. This isn't how it's supposed to look, but hey, looks like it's gonna taste good. I'll just leave that little last bit in the pan for now because there's just physically not enough room on the plate for me to move that out, unfortunately. If you want, I'd also drizzle some tomato sauce on the top. I drizzle some of our homemade tomato sauce on the top. Just to get my own pair of chopsticks and try a little bit of this beautiful omurice that we've made. This is the verdict. Let's see, is it good? Let's see. Tastes pretty good, but on the unfortunate side, we didn't get the presentation quite right. That's okay. If it tastes good, I'm very happy with it. I think next time to get the presentation right, what I do is I make a lot less rice, because the recipe said the recipe said you make 2 cups of rice, so I made 2 cups of rice. But I think that that was way too much rice for me to put in the omelet. And ultimately, the omelet itself couldn't take the rice. Secondly, I would have let the onions go for a little less and pre-cut the ham beforehand. I didn't expect cutting it to take that long. So I would have let my onions go for a little less time, though I can't really taste any bad flavors in it. I'll just try another little spoonful. Not spoonful, a chopstickful. If you get everything in one bite, it's really good. Again, even though it doesn't look good, I think it came out really nice. So we'll take it. Secondly, I think one of the other problems is that my egg kind of like pooled all in one spot.